Hey there, Bills Mafia, Big Jim here. Welcome to my new channel where I will break down the all-22 footage from Bills games each week. Let's get right into the Week 1 footage. This week we're going to be focusing on Josh Allen's performance as he had the best statistical performance of his career versus the abysmal secondary of the New York Jets. This was Josh's first 300-yard passing game, which included 2 passing touchdowns, but more impressive to me was his 71.74 completion percentage. Even though he has beaten this mark twice before, this was a very impressive number considering he also threw a career-high 46 times, while never for a minute playing from behind. If you throw in the 57 yards rushing and a score on the ground, and only a small handful of QBs in the league can boast a better stat line. So how did Josh and Brian Daboll take advantage of the Jets' weak secondary? To me, the standout plays all fall into a few categories. There's the designed runs, the screens, yes, the screens, the timing and rhythm throws, and lastly, Josh was able to use his mobility to extend plays and make something happen when the play broke down. Let's take a quick look first at the part of Josh's game that everyone recognizes, the designed runs. While these were where the turnovers came from, Josh proved once again to be a weapon in the run game, and that started very early on in this game. Less than 5 minutes into the game, Josh takes a one-step drop before tucking and running up the middle. The linebackers are all moving backwards from the moment the ball is snapped, and Josh is able to bounce outside and run safely out of bounds. This gives Buffalo a manageable 3rd and short and moves them into scoring territory. Very simple, but very effective. On the next series, Josh caps off a scoring drive with his legs. He fakes the handoff to Zach Moss, and to me it looks like they probably could have just handed this one off and still scored. But instead the Jets do a terrible job of setting the edge and leave the bootleg wide open for an easy score. How they can leave this so wide open is a bit beyond me, but it's a great job by Brian Daboll and Josh Allen to call the right play and to execute it. Next, I want to take a look at our screen game. This is something Buffalo really seemed to be missing last year. Singletary was 33rd in the league in targets among running backs, and this was one of the key ways that I thought Josh would be able to increase his completion percentage this year. I'm very excited to see this element return to our offense. It's a great way to slow down the opposing pass rush, and that is going to be needed later in the year. But screens are for more than just the running back, as we're about to see. First, I want to look at a tight end screen to Dawson Knox, who lines up on the right side. On the snap, he moves across the formation to the left, picks up a block very briefly before releasing and catching the pass. I think Mitch Morse gets away with one here as he's an extra yard or two down the field. You only get one, Mitch. And Dawson has 3 blockers to escort him deeper into the red zone. The 4th defender comes across from the backside of the play and is able to hold Knox to just 12 yards, but it's already 1st and goal Buffalo. If Diggs is able to engage his block and hold it, Dawson would have only had to beat Marcus May to get into the end zone, but we're not going to beat up Stephon too much, as his blocking was pretty great down the field later in the game, and we're going to see that show up in a little bit. This is a crucial element to a successful screen game, and I do think that this was a bit of a missed opportunity, though. Next, I want to look at another successful screen that could have easily been a bigger gain. This time, it's a traditional RB screen to Singletary, and it's an ugly play from right guard Cody Ford, who engages his block and even manages to chip the blitzing safety before trying to release and get down the field to block. He trips and falls here, nearly getting in the way of Singletary making the catch, and then it's too late to engage his block on number 97. He doesn't even really touch anyone here. Yikes. Shepard can't take down Singletary, but he does slow him up and allows the pursuit to rally to the football and limit Buffalo to just 8 yards. Overall, a net positive here for the Bills, but it could have been more. Last, let's look at the perfectly blocked and executed wide receiver screen to John Brown that put Buffalo ahead 21-0. After seeing Brown's defender lined up 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, Josh audibles to the screen play. New York rushes with 6 defenders and is beaten immediately by the audible. Josh uses a sidearm release to deliver a strike to Brown, who has 2 blockers ahead of him and just 2 defenders between him and the end zone. Diggs does a great job hustling from the other side of the field to take the safety out of the play, and as a result, Brown is never touched on this score. Josh would tell you he threw it too low, but it looks to me that he puts it where only Brown can make a play on it. He has to go low, but it's more than enough to get the job done, and there's no chance of a turnover that would likely turn into 6 points for the defense. Moving along, I want to look at some of the plays where Josh used his legs to extend a play and make something happen after the Jets were able to stop Plan A. Let's go to late in the first quarter and watch a series of 3 plays that are all part of the same drive. This was a scoring drive, as we'll see, and it was a drive made entirely by Josh's mobility. It's first down from midfield, and as Josh drops back, the Jets do a great job down the field covering the receivers. Only McKenzie's open in the flat, but Josh is under a little pressure and doesn't take the check down. He evades the rush, bounces outside, and John Brown does an excellent job altering his post route and working his way back towards the line of scrimmage. He finds an opening along the sideline, and Josh manages to complete the pass. He's known for his mobility, but as he matures, he continues to be disciplined and keep his eyes down the field. Checking down might technically be the right call here, but Josh is not a game manager and will usually trust his receivers and look to push the ball down the field where he can. And let's be honest, with these receivers, who can blame him? 2 plays later, a free rusher gets a lesson in how slippery Josh Allen can be in the pocket. It's purely an athletic play made by Josh here as he beats Marcus May badly. Coverage held, and while Josh had options in the check down to Moss or Knox in the corner of the end zone, he takes the safe option and scrambles instead. Moss is able to act as a lead blocker here, making this the correct choice in my opinion. Notably, Diggs does a good job continuing on his route and remaining a viable option on the play, forcing his defender to clear the running lane so Josh doesn't have an easy completion to his best playmaker. Buffalo caps off the drive 2 plays later with a touchdown on another play that's covered beautifully by the Jets secondary. With no options available downfield, Josh moves out of the pocket even though there's no pressure on him at all. The instant he leaves the pocket, 2 Jets defenders abandon their coverage assignment and move forward to stuff the run that they've been watching on film all week. Once these defenders abandon their assignment, Moss is wide open 3 yards deep in the end zone, and Josh delivers a perfect throw away from the only remaining defender left in Moss's vicinity. Later in the game, at the start of the 4th quarter, the Jets get some pressure on Allen. Moss is able to slow the rush but not stop it, and Josh is forced out of the pocket. Diggs is wide open on the play, but the pressure delays the throw. He manages to stay open until Josh is able to find him, and Josh heaves a first down pass on the run. On release, Josh has exactly 0 feet on the ground, but there is more than enough velocity on the ball for Diggs to go down to the ground and make the grab, using his body to keep the defender from breaking up the pass. Maybe this doesn't work against a better secondary, but the ball placement would have made it very difficult for this to end in a turnover. The last group of plays I want to look at today is arguably the most important of them, and I was very excited to see a lot of success on the timing and rhythm passing plays. Josh's worst misses come from plays that take too long to develop. When he has to sit in the pocket and wait for the receiver to get open, his footwork gets sloppy and it affects his delivery. Daboll did a great job this week of designing plays that allowed Josh to just release the ball at the top of his dropback. And this is where I think Diggs' route running helps Josh even more than deep down the field, and it showed up on tape. Early in the 2nd quarter, on first down, Buffalo lines up in the shotgun, and Diggs runs an out route just beyond the sticks. Josh takes a 5-step drop to allow the route to develop and is able to cleanly hit Diggs for the first down. This is another low throw away from the defender where only the receiver can get it, and a great catch by Stephon. Again, in the 3rd quarter, on 2nd and long, Josh finds himself in the shotgun formation. Beasley is running a 10-yard in route, and even though there is pressure coming, Josh doesn't need to move at all. He makes the throw as Beasley breaks the route, and Cole makes a clean catch in a tight window and squeaks out an extra yard or 2 to give them the first down. Josh also gets hit low here, which earns them another 15 yards on a roughing the passer call. Earlier in the 3rd quarter, on first down and again from the shotgun, Buffalo calls a play-action pass. Beasley's seam route perfectly splits the deep defenders, and Josh is able to release the ball immediately after the fake. This isn't Josh's best ball of the day, but it's good enough for a 29-yard gain. Honestly, if he hits Beasley in stride here, it's 6 points, so you want to see him make a better throw, but still, nowhere near the level of miss you saw in the Brown touchdown that almost was. The last play we'll look at today is in the 4th quarter from under center. Diggs is running a crossing route here, and he gets a ton of separation. He's just wide open on this play. Because of the separation and the speed of Stephon Diggs, Josh does not have to wait around for the route to develop. He releases the ball at the top of his dropback after the play-action fake. If not for John Brown stopping his route short like he was the target on the play and allowing his defender to be nearby when the catch is made, Diggs catches this dime in stride and has a great chance to find the end zone, or at least pick up a handful of extra yardage. Instead, Diggs takes a shot that was pretty avoidable. It's still a big play for the Bills, but another one where there's plenty of room for improvement. Let's help keep Diggs healthy, Smoke. What do you say? That does it for me this week. Thank you so much for checking out the new channel. Please hit the like button and leave a comment with what you liked most about this Week 1 convincing victory over the New York Jets. If If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications when new videos go live. I hope these videos can be released early in later weeks, but I can't do them without the all-22 footage, which was late this week, so we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks. See you after week 2. Let's squish the fish.